but it feels like home.
Welcome back, episode 132 of Revisited, and old topic, old creator. We are talking about Naruto, A Place to Return to by Oceaniz. I can't remember the last Oceaniz we did, actually.
Might have been King Crimson.
Might have been King Crimson. Might have been something with Geo.
Might have been a stream as well. Yeah. Who knows? Who cares?
But here we are. This video is unlisted because he's unlisted a lot of his content apparently in his rebrand of more Monster Hunter lore as opposed to anime analysis and that type of stuff. The videos are still available, they're just unlisted. So and this is just one of them. Yeah.
It seems very much based upon the little that we heard of. It just seems like escapism. Life is hard. But Naruto is a place where you can watch somebody grow and you can grow as a result. It just seems like that based upon what we heard. And if it's gonna be that, there's just so much.
Yeah, and it's crazy that you can attribute this to Naruto, but it could truly just be any series from any person for any person. It's not like Naruto doing something special where people should gravitate to Naruto more than something like a Bleach or something like a Yu Yu Hakusho or something like a Flame of Recca or something.
Because when you look at it, just go, okay, he has a goal. That's a bunch of people have that. Outcast, people don't like him, that type of thing. Other shows do that as well, but better because there's not a entirely contrived reason as to why he's hated and ignored and all that stuff. So if you want to just look at it pure and simple baseline, he is ignored, relate to that, you can, but then when you got to look at it a little bit deeper, and it's just kind of like the dude from last week where he was just like, everybody went away from me but they went down the wrong path, and it's just surface level, nothing, we don't really have anything to go on it, and it's just like this, just
yeah, we know what happened after you arrived at this point, but what was that little middle portion of trying to arrive at that point that we just are not privy to that information.
And is it just enough to relate to a character, just their traits, instead of where they came from? Because that was also a video that was on in the Discord. It was just like relatable, something about relatable characters.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, it's revisiting a video that is not on the table as of yet, because there is no description, boys.
What?
It's just Patreon and a Twitter, I believe. Was it a Twitter editor? Yep, Patreon and Twitter.
Cool Z's. Yeah. The best. The absolute best. Okay, let's just get into it then. It's sped up slightly because it's a 25-minute video and he talks kind of slow.
Does a series ever hack your brain?
No. No. And it's funny because I watch and read a lot of like detective things, which you would assume would have you, but I guess that's more just using your brain as opposed to hacking it. No, it just doesn't.
You know the feeling. You watch or read or maybe play a story that you can admit faults to. The characters are kind of weird, the plot is very convenient at times, and oh boy, the humor.
There's nothing wrong with plot convenience.
Yes.
I was watching a video recently and they were talking about some author who said something along the lines of plot conveniences that get your characters into a situation are not an issue. The issue is plot conveniences that get your characters out of a situation. So, the setup being convenient isn't really the issue. It's if the pure resolution of it is a convenient thing that happened. That's where the issues start to... I've just never understood this plot convenience issue that people have.
And yet, it just gets you?
No, a show does not get me. A show exists outside of me, and even if I attach my experiences to a show, it doesn't get me, quote unquote, because it's gonna be a surface level traits or experience that don't necessarily exactly match up to what I've gone through or who I am. So no.
The best I could say is a series grabs you, because I've definitely been grabbed by a series. But as far as like a series understands me, if that's the way he's going with
This
this,
seems like a relatability.
I got nothing for you. Media is media to me.
Some reason that you may or may not understand, this piece of art has a direct highway to your innermost essence. Some bizarre, almost ephemeral connection that causes every piece of the work's DNA to reverberate through you stronger than anything else.
It sounds like you just like it a lot.
Yeah.
There are series that do the things that the series I like do, but I don't like those series nearly as much. It just sounds like you kind of gravitated towards something in that series.
Have there ever been something that you really, really liked? Well, just say that instead of all this flowery stuff. Because if you say, is there something that you really, really liked? I'm like, yeah. Is there something that grabbed you and gnarled its way into your DNA and all this
The
stuff?
essence of you.
No. So you're losing me already if I'm on this journey with you, on this Naruto journey.
Mm-hmm.
Naruto is a series about a blonde kid who just cannot be bothered with school. He wants to be the president. The hallmark shonen manga by Masashi Kishimoto hardly needs any introduction, and while it does eventually complicate itself with a great power system, an absolute immaculate gallery of villains, and way too much focus on Sasuke, the story remains fundamentally about an outcast kid, fighting to become a respected and beloved authority to those around him.
But not really. Because how does the Kakuzu fight feed into him trying to get the respect? Because they fight in the middle of it wasn't a forest, it was just like a DBZ wasteland.
I'd say 80% of Shippuden is not about being recognized from being an outcast and blah, blah, blah. And
unless you want to
respect.
say that each step that he takes towards being a better ninja is a step towards being more respected because the village sees strength and respect strength.
But that's basically anything. Any step forward is a step forward towards your goal. Like, that's not fair to attribute to Naruto like it's doing something.
My love for the series also needs very little introduction, as I am now internationally known as the Naruto boyfriend. Thank you, Kotaku. And as you have certainly surmised, Naruto is to me the exact kind of series described in the intro bit. I have fallen in and out of love with the series numerous times within my life. But
the way that you described it in the beginning, how it's entangling itself into your DNA and it gets you. How are you falling? Unless it's as you grow and change.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe even he sees it as a reflection of himself and he hates those negative parts of it and because he doesn't like the negative parts he sees in himself.
This is so lame.
No matter what new thing I find to nitpick or what surprising aspect endears itself to me, one constant is that at any given point in my life, I am probably thinking about Naruto in one capacity or another.
I couldn't. I don't.
Yeah.
The things I think about are when they're in front of me or I'm looking for the update to the thing. Like if I grab my tablet and swipe up and go, all right, what's going to update? It's been a while since Yanjo Girl has updated. Maybe that will. Or Flower Blooms with Dignity. And maybe is that. It's been a while for that. But beyond that, I'm not learning about Java and going, dang, One Piece though.
Like, but there is times where I'll be sitting there and just go, that was a fantastic part in Rokudo's Bad Girls with the best girl that we all know who she is.
Of course there's going to be parts of your day at random intervals where you're going to think about something you really like or something you really dislike. But it's not, he's talking about like basically every day Naruto permeates his mind. He's thinking about Naruto or something.
Cats is like one of my top 5 pieces of media
How
I've ever
in the
seen.
world?
And there will be times where I'm just like, oh, that did happen. Oh my goodness. But I think about the not the recording, but when we all watched it over at Mike's house and just the horrifying McCavity.
Kelly was a star that day.
Everybody was just melting, and I
will never get Kelly's no out of my head. No. To the day I die, the exact way she said it will be in my mind. I don't remember what I was about to say though. You said something negative, piece of media. I don't remember.
The reasons for that are obviously personal and subjective, but I think that there are a few key elements of Naruto that make it very capable of entrancing you the way it did for me. Somehow, perhaps because of the things we will discuss, Naruto often finds itself becoming a home for new and returning fans of the medium alike.
But that's every series. There's new fans of Dragon Ball. There's new fans of Yu Yu Hakusho. There's new fans of JoJo's. What is Naruto? It's just a show. You think there's not new fans of Bleach happening right now?
You think there's not people just rewatching Yu Yu Hakusho just because?
Lost just got put on Netflix. You think there's not new fans? Ink Suits.
I hope not.
Ink Suits. Suits was like the most watched streaming show for like 7 weeks straight. Where did they come from? Because it sure wasn't when it was airing.
And thus, it remains something that I keep coming back to.
Don't.
But for what purpose, I'm wondering? Because it doesn't do anything like amazingly.
There are amazing moments within it, but I don't think there's any media that's at base level competent that doesn't have at least two amazing moments in it.
Oh, we gotta see, because this is I'm so interested in this.
Sped up, by the way.
I don't think it's particularly controversial to say that Naruto is a long series. In terms of actual episodes and chapters, yes, but also in terms of time. The original manga ran for 15 years, with the anime following suit. When we are talking about a work that covered such vast amounts of time in which it was a continuous contemporary presence, we can start talking about maturative fiction.
I forgot about this guy.
Yeah.
I truly forgot.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I've forgotten who Oceaniz is. And he is what you're seeing on screen. Mm-hmm. And I do not fault him for that. Because this has always been his lane. No. It's not for me. It's definitely for some people. But it is tiresome to me.
Yes. Because this is like, come on now. Because he's going to immediately need to define this. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to just do the definition, just do the definition without this. Yeah. Because I'm not going to take this into my daily life.
Hey, ask us what the 3 Ps are right now.
Works that by their sheer length force their current audience to either abandon it over time or to turn it into a persistent companion of their life for years.
So basically you grow with as it's going on.
In cases of the latter, the series opens itself up to truly getting to you through exposure alone, if it plays its cards right. In Naruto's case.
What do you mean? Okay, this a nebulous series, not this series play. Okay.
The first of its cards is its basic premise. Before the series ever expanded into pretend politics and mysticism, it had a core setup as bumfuck simple as it was engaging. This kid is a fucking loser, and everybody hates him, and he wants to prove them wrong.
But what comes out the gate complicated like that? There will be a character that wants a thing or is a thing or something that is so simple, and then you take a step back and it broadens and goes further, and that's everything.
Even a super thinky show like Death Note or a super cerebral show at the very least, at the beginning, it's just like, hey, write a name in a death note as long as you know their name and their face.
Take a step back. Dude is super smart and super talented, and everybody likes him, so he's bored, and he finds something that excites him. And then you take a step back. It's the death note. Here are the rules and that's
simple
everything.
Rules. And then the rules get expanded as time goes on. The deaths become more complicated. The inner workings of the detective aspects of trying to figure things out.
Relatability and all that stuff. You can relate to being good at something and being bored by it, but it's just something that you have to do. If you work a job long enough, and you're competent, because there are people that are not competent. My goodness, I got some stories from this job.
Oh no.
Who's been working here longer than me.
Oh no.
The very basis of a ticket. The 3 things that you need in every description, because that's all that it is. What is the issue? When was the last time that it was working? Is there an error message? That tells you almost everything.
Yep, that's
because if they never were able to get into it, that's something different than they were able to get into it yesterday. Error message or no, that it could be a browser issue or a site issue or an access issue. It's a bunch of things. But some people will just put browser issue. And that's all. And then the ticket gets bounced back to us, and it's just like, hey, yo, what's this ticket? And then I gotta work that ticket, and then I gotta figure out what the issue is.
Oh yeah, I hate those types of things. And, are you able to talk with the clients directly?
Yes.
Okay. So at the very least, that's paid. But it is a bunch of steps that didn't need to be there. If you just did your job,
yes,
my job would be 30% easier.
So everybody, even something super, just again pulling it back a little bit. You're not super smart. Not everybody likes you, but you are so good at something that you're bored and you want a little more excitement.
Like if you're super good at chess might end up boring you. That's what happens with a lot of athletes, recreational sports or esports or regular sports. They become so good at their field that the day-to-day life of it, even though they're exceptional talents, become boring. So they drown themselves in drugs and alcohol and fall down a bad path and want to do exciting things. Even though they've made it, they're good. They're just bored with everything.
But even something like a Rubik's Cube. A Rubik's Cube is a soft thing. The fast people can do it in 27 moves. So that's why you have those weird muffs that are just juggling 3 Rubik's Cubes and
look at it and then it's just world record like 3 seconds.
Yeah. So that's
one of my coworkers, one of them people. He'll be sitting there looking up a problem, just looking at it, and then he'll grab his Rubik's Cube. Don't even look at it, just go. Put it down.
I got a coworker that has just like, it's like a 20 by 20, just huge one. He goes, hey King, watch this. I'm going to make a letter. And he'll make an A. I'm like, you magic man. So yeah, I saw that juggling and they slow it down, and as he's catching it, he's
turning it.
I'm like, I can't even juggle. And he's juggling. I can't juggle.
I can't juggle. I can't solve a Rubik's Cube. And he's doing both
in record time. And I'm like, my brain is just like, I can't even comprehend this.
The Ninetales, the Ninja World, and all that other stuff are initially really just window dressing, a backdrop for what is basically a social power fantasy, the series promising that you will see this twerp go from a misunderstood outcast to a central figure of his community. So far, so underdog. While it is a common and somewhat tired trope by now, it's hard to overstate the immense power adolescent underdog narratives can have over children and young teens.
It's not tired. It just needs to be done well. Yeah. Who cares?
You can have a story about a child, a teenager, an adult, an older adult, or an senior citizen. There's like a grand total of like eight age ranges. It's not tired. It's just a story that necessarily needs to be told because there's such a limited number of ways to tell it.
And it's different for each even within the decades, the age group could shift because there's something in writing. The genre is, I think it's called new adult, where it's not the young adults of like 13 and 19, but we're looking at the 23s, mid 20s, late 20s. We're looking for that audience. And there was a period of time where that audience was very coveted. So I'm sure you saw a lot of works during that time coming out frequently. But at the same time, like you said, there's only so many age groups you can have. Like young adolescent kid with powers, we're talking 11 to like 15-year-olds. Or 10 to 15-year-olds. Like there's only so much you can do. Especially when you're consuming Jump, of all things, which is targeted to that specific demographic.
When you're a kid, the world is a weird and scary place, full of rules and traditions that often make no sense to you.
I said it when we were but that is literally adults as well. There are rules that make no sense to me. There are scary things out there.
Yeah, I do not know how to drive on a roundabout. And Eric has been driving for what, 5, 6, 7 years, and he's still just like, I don't know.
Couldn't tell you.
So that's just the rules of the road.
And more importantly, many cultures and communities make it a veritable sport to patronize you for not understanding them. Something that keeps up.
I do not know what he means. Cultures and community makes it a sport to patronize you for not knowing what's going on. I don't know what he's talking about.
It might be like, let's just say, Japanese people mocking the way Westerners use chopsticks or something.
I don't think.
No, it's just an example. I don't think that happens, but something like that. You don't understand our culture, and you're trying to take part in it, and we're mocking you for not.
I thought you meant cultures, like Japanese people making fun of other Japanese people, and that's what. I don't think he means like.
I was thinking separate cultures.
Often make no sense to you. And more importantly, many cultures and communities make it a veritable sport to patronize you for not understanding them.
Yeah, if you're not understanding the community and the culture, I would assume that would be all outsiders.
He's saying you as in a person. The culture, the Japanese culture is making fun of you, another Japanese person, not you.
I think it's foreigners. I think
and
by foreigners,
different ways. Yeah. He's not going to explain it either way. We can keep talking about this. We can keep talking past each other. It don't matter.
It don't matter.
Because this is all
this ain't even his point.
Something that keeps up well into your teens. Under these circumstances, it isn't surprising that kids and young teens show a tendency towards seeing themselves as the underdog, as someone who gets singled out and who has to navigate a confusing web of expectations, prejudices, and boundaries.
That's adults too. Yeah. Like, you can't just attribute this to kids. Are you telling me that adults don't feel these exact same feelings?
But what about the people that don't feel that way? What about the jocks that are just like, I am the best,
and this is all I'll ever be, and keep chasing high school?
There are people like that. Again, there's different feelings for a bunch of different people. I don't know if there's necessarily a study or anything that just says there are more disenfranchised teenagers than people who are either comfortable with themselves or have an ego about themselves.
And it can often feel like there is no winning. At least that's how I felt. Or rather, how I rationalized the memories of my kid self through the lens of an ever-deteriorating adult brain. I remember never feeling like I quite fit in. Social cues felt random and unpredictable, and it made social life feel hostile and difficult.
Pause.
That sounds like autism to me. I know some autistic people that very much are like, hey, I just don't understand social cues sometimes. So other people laugh and I'll go, okay, I'll laugh too, but I don't really understand what was funny about what was going on. It honestly just sounds like autism to me.
How does this tie into the shadow clone jutsu? Where does Naruto fit into this?
So when he learned the Rasengan,
I felt my world spiraling into place. What is?
it's a metaphor for, and it's encompassed by the swirl you see in his uniform and from other people in Konoha, with this crazy world just swirling around you. But eventually you reach the center, and in there the essence
relays the drums. Two separate cultures coming together to create this magical. Shut up.
This is not to say that I was #different and #unique. I think I just had some undiagnosed social condition or whatever. Either way, it often really did feel like everyone was in on some magic social trick I had missed out on. Like I was the only one who didn't get how to function as part of the group. And
when you think that much into it, you're going to think, what am I doing wrong? Yes. And therefore other yourself even more. It's not just a, hey, stop thinking about it. It's just, it is kind of just stop thinking about it. It just, when friggin' Peanut was teaching me to drive, I told you this, he sucks. So a couple of his things were, it was just do it. And I was just like, he ain't teaching me, but when I was going to teach Chris, I had to fight myself from going, well, just do it. Cause that is just kind of what it is.
That is the advice.
So, and it works. It's hard to explain certain things certain times, and it's just like, well, just do it. And I've learned.
Yeah, how would I, as a person that could flip, explain how to do a no-hand flip to somebody? Like, it's just something you feel, really.
So when you're just sitting there thinking like, dang, all these people are all over there, how do I get over there? You start like making plans and like, oh, I'm gonna roll my Ren and Stimpy pencil over there and be like, oh, I dropped my Ren and Stimpy pencil. Anybody like Ren and Stimpy?
Yeah, dude, I used to do flips in the yard until people came and was like, hey, nice flips. And then they became some of my best friends ever.
But then that's just gonna, if that doesn't work, you're gonna be like, okay, that didn't work. What's my next plan? And it's not like, you're not looking at it as like a relationship and how to just naturally come up with people. It is kind of tricking them into it's just
into starting the interaction because you personally couldn't start it.
And this is also just old Oceaniz looking back at young Oceaniz. So,
it may not have even been necessarily that stuff.
That I was being punished for it. It's at this stage of my life, and of the lives of all kids that might have felt similarly, that I was first exposed to Naruto. And what an exposure it is. While it dwells on the melodrama of being the outcast quite a bit,
it's so melodramatic.
Look at this. Everybody got their back to him. Come on.
This crying child.
These negative design motherfuckers. If they turned around, they would have no face. It'd just be smooth.
It is fundamentally about pushing back against the status. For all the sad swing flashbacks, Naruto
never really, because how does Naruto push back against the status outside of the first 2 episodes?
He even learns further about the status of the ninja world, where they see underlings and ninjas as a whole as tools, and he never really pushes back against that.
He's the Hokage, and the system continues. It wasn't about changing like, hey, this is wrong for the Hyugas. It's just, hey, destiny. That's all bullshit. It was nothing about, hey, people's brains shouldn't be exploded with a single hand gesture. It was just like, nah, destiny, cool. Because you saying that my destiny can't be changed. No, your destiny can be changed. And therefore the Hyuga will change. But it's nothing about the injustices of these muffs.
But then, what if that head Hyuga didn't change and went, do it, boy, or pop your head? Like, Neji has no...
Get out! Get the up!
Neji has no...
I'ma do it! And third Hokage like, he'll do it. I done seen it.
Hey, shouldn't you be stopping this? Why?
he needs to get up. I can't... this is their family
Ninjas
stuff.
are tools. Get up.
Get up.
Never misses an opportunity to reassure himself and us that he's going to make it, that he will be Hokage, that he will be respected. The series is almost obnoxiously loud about this optimism. And while as an adult, it's really...
But then you have stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh! Joey is a mediocre duelist.
At best.
But he tries his hardest.
When he first started, it was like, Joey, what the is this deck? It's trash. It's nothing but monsters.
What? But by the end of Battle City, Yugi versus Joey, it's just like, can he do it? He was about to beat Merrick.
Legitimately was about to.
He's not a very good duelist, but you see him working. You see how he fights. You see him getting lucky and stuff. And you can just go, hey, I ain't got the juice, but maybe if I put in a little bit of work, I can stand next to the number 1 guy, the number 2 guy. Maybe not be top 5, maybe top 7.
And maybe top 5.
And then maybe move up.
Easy to just look back and see these outbursts as childish and overly naive. To a kid, this stuff is crack. Seeing a fellow...
Naruto was never my favorite character.
I'd agree with that.
It took a long time for me, outside of Kakashi, to like a character in Naruto. And I think it was Lee. For
I'd agree with
obvious reasons.
Child be confident and struggle through hardship despite not being considered conventionally accepted is a powerful image. It helps that Naruto's path and his...
But what about the fact that Naruto has an inlaid ability? What about the fact that...
He's secretly amazing.
It was just like, these are secret forbidden techniques. He was on the run and he goes, dang, I was only able to learn one. So he was able to learn one and perform it to perfection the first time. Outside of pumping up so much chakra into it, he's never had an issue with the Shadow Clone Jutsu. It's never fritzed out. He's never popped a clone with one leg. Nothing like that.
An imperfected clone.
Nothing. So what about that? He's struggling through this stuff, but he's low-key amazing once he gets that unlock.
Solutions to problems are, well, fairly simple. Bonk someone harder than they thought possible, dig your heels in, and most importantly, never give up.
But what if that doesn't work?
Dude, he should have got kicked out of that class. He didn't do the assignment.
He's lucky here with the with that test of just he's lucky that the final test was guts and bravery and he's lucky, otherwise it would be like you are never going to be a ninja now.
Yeah.
What?
You can't do it, Rock.
So cuz it was just like answer this wrong and you will never be a ninja. Leave now and come back next year. Guts was the answer, and he got lucky. What if he wasn't lucky? Could he go over to the Rain Village like, hey, can I be a Genin here? Can he?
Are there Genin in the Rain Village?
Are there, like,
classes?
transfer?
I gotta assume so, since they were trying to steal a Hyuga, so maybe there was a trade.
It could have simply just been to either poke out her eyes or... the darker implication of wait until she's old enough to breed and then breed
ad infinitum
generations of Byakugan people.
Whatever happens, stand your ground and move forward. These simplistic attitudes are powerful enough to feel motivating and grand, but not complex enough to trigger the miasma of disorientation that so easily overcomes your kid's self.
So, you listen to Naruto, you just go, never give up, never give in, don't stop believing because I'm going to win. You listen to that boy, and you go, I'm going to do that. Hey, the super popular, I'm a freshman, the senior prom queen girl, I'm going to ask her out. She says no. What do you do then? Because what does Naruto do in the beginning of the arcs that is just like, here's how he deals with failure? What happens? What's the failure that Naruto deals with and overcomes? Because he does overcome the things that he fails at. I guess Oro, but then he got knocked out and essentially doesn't say the word Oro until Oro's in front of him. So what? He screws up against the twin ninja super Chunin boys or whatever, but he just goes, okay, I'm gonna be better. And then he is better. There isn't next time I fumbled. It was, I'm gonna be better, and then I am better. So what is your mindset when you get rejected by the prom queen? You're like, what would Naruto do? You don't have that mindset going into the beginning of Naruto.
Let me push hard and unlock my secret I can get the prom queen technique.
What is your, I'm gonna work harder to get her?
Stalking.
I guess, but you wanna?
Dealing with the adult world. This feels even grander because of the duplicitous nature of Naruto's plight. Explicitly, he is an outcast due to the Nine Tails, but in practice, most of the social pain he suffers come from people who either don't know about that or voice their dislike directly towards the child, not the demon.
Pause. Yes, he's annoying. The Konoha 12 are just like, this guy's annoying.
Yes,
absent of the fox.
I don't know who you are, but you suck.
Sakura's just like, shut up. Chika's just like, shut up. Kiba's just like, because he is annoying. And he doesn't really get over that. People just sort of accept, it's just like,
it becomes endearing as opposed to annoying.
But what if it doesn't?
So despite the narrative explanation, it often feels that Naruto is isolated not because of the Nine Tails, but simply because he's weird and loud. His sense of humor is a little crass, he can't sit still and gets excited way too quickly. A profile that many children will at least partially recognize in themselves.
Sure, absolutely. But again, people say that he's annoying, but still interact with them. What if they don't interact with you? What if you don't find that friend group? Because you're weird, like Naruto, and loud and annoying, like that. And who's mowing their lawn at 8 o'clock at night? I understand it's still bright out, but come on now.
There was a lot of time to be doing.
Save it for tomorrow. The weekend is coming up. But you got a home inspection coming up? Chill out. What are you doing?
Because of this reframing of Naruto's situation, him nonetheless showing how resourceful, ambitious, and capable he is feels
resourceful. You show him getting lucky and punching Neji and Neji falling down, because if Neji had stood up, he would have won.
He really should have showed the Kiba thing where he turned into Konohamaru. That was a resourceful thing.
But other than that, and the Zabuza thing, that was also resourceful. But are we tapped out? Is that it? That can't be it. Oh no.
After that, it becomes a lot of just, hey, I've got the power.
Because when he did the Rasengan for the first time against Kabuto, his kunai just got stuck in his hand. and Kabuto just chose not to release the kunai or take a step to the left. It just get hit.
Like even the greatest dork can rise up to the occasion and succeed. I believe this is the first.
When are you talking about? My goodness. You know what I'm saying? But the greatest dork can rise up. Neji doesn't count. The Zabuza thing, sure. Haku inlaid ability. What does it matter? That's not, unless you have that within you. You can't really take inspiration for that.
Or same thing.
Because it's something outside of something that you can do or control. It's just something that comes up. Dang, I'm broke. And then some oil bearer hops out of his limo and just like, here's $5,000. And then drives away and you go, oh, cool. That's nothing that you did. That's outside of your powers. Yeah. But you were an underdog loser.
You always had a secret uncle that would feed you money during your darkest time.
Yeah, he would break into your house and just hide $100 somewhere, and then you'd be like, "Oh dang, I forgot I had this $100." I can't believe, for what purpose?
Okay, maybe.
First, crucial ingredient to how Naruto became so formative. But of course, a lot of this only really works when you're a kid. Maturing means realizing that the world is complicated, beyond what you could have ever imagined, and so these simple ideals lose much of their power.
Of course.
No, they don't. You can still have that. I'm gonna not give up. I'm gonna push forward.
Yes.
I just started my career like a year ago.
Because it works for Naruto. It doesn't, unless you're just going, dang, it works for him because it's a story, but not for me, then what's the purpose of this video?
And the audience is forced into this because, well, that's how aging works. But this is where Naruto uses its length in the best way it could.
We grow with them and they grow with us. So when they struggle, 15-year-old, you're 18 and
We all win.
Alongside the audience. This isn't at all unique to Naruto, but I do think Naruto does it in a pretty clever way. The conflicts with the first part of the series gradually start becoming more and more complicated, culminating in something that, in childhood, is kind of...
The first antagonist is just like my Yogin's test was transform. Mine was to kill everybody in my class. That's the first the first dude is just like, we couldn't afford an S rank mission. So we tricked y'all into a C rank. This is super dangerous, and you children could die from this Hokage killer. That was the first one. The second one was just like, this dude is coming. He's gonna go to sleep and smush the entire village. This guy has been experimenting on people for decades, and he's here. The dude Kakashi, he's afraid of him. So, what was the simple thing outside of the first 2 episodes?
kind of impossible to reconcile. Sasuke's betrayal. Suddenly, the paradigms of the good guys and the bad guys are shaken considerably. Betrayal is at this point nothing new to the series, but it's the first and only time it happens with a character this major, and, more importantly, with a character whose opinion of Naruto felt like a big part of the stakes. Sasuke.
But he didn't turn evil for a reason like, I want to rule the world, or anything like that.
He wasn't even technically evil. He just went with the evil dude to get his revenge.
We talked about this before in a previous episode.
Of course we did.
Good men.
Yeah, do nothing.
Triumph,
Blah, 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 blah.
But outside of...
That's a great point you have there. But check this out.
But his purpose was, I just want to get stronger to kill this guy that killed my entire family, and I can't do that here. That was his whole thing. It wasn't evil. They mowing our backyard. What are they doing?
Is there another one?
Yo, is there?
It's like right next door.
It's unbelievable. It is 8:12.
Yo, it's so loud.
What are you doing? Why is it so loud?
It's so loud. Where are they?
My goodness.
They are next door.
Left.
Yep. It must be the people they hired to do it, and they just came this time for some reason.
Crazy.
Early on, serves as almost a barometer for how much Naruto is succeeding at winning over his community. The icy, untouchably cool rival is the guy we want to see acknowledge our boy Naruto, both because he is his direct
Crazy.
Unbelievable. unbelievable.
Crazy, y'all.
Opposition, but also because Sasuke, in no uncertain terms, represents the society which would reject Naruto.
Pause. But wouldn't also Sakura do that? Because she is more of the object of Naruto's affection.
Yes. But he's not talking about from Naruto's perspective. He's talking about from the audience's perspective of who we would want to see acknowledge Naruto. And the person we want to see acknowledge Naruto is the super cool, strong dude of the series.
But wouldn't also love interest be that type of thing also?
Yeah, that goes into shepherds, and we know their thumbs down.
He is popular, so popular and socially endowed, in fact, that he gets to just ignore and scoff at all the people that love and adore him. A privilege Naruto could only dream of. Of course, Sasuke has his own baggage to deal with.
Why do we need to know this?
Yeah, we know.
But from the focalized perspective, Naruto... that is. He is the ultimate wall to be overcome, the symbolic checkmark that will make his achievement feel legitimate. So to lose him to Orochimaru, and thus have him removed from the equation, immediately upsets this dynamic, revealing the world of Naruto to not conform to his simplistic thinking and structure after all.
But
after
it didn't do that before.
When he faced Haku, it's just like, isn't that your friend? Oh, we're all tools, but I did care for him.
Yeah, it hasn't been conforming to his whole thing. He got lucky with Neji, but he doesn't even really know that about the locker room Yuga bowing down thing.
No, he doesn't give a shit either.
He just beat him up and just went, I hope Sasuke is coming.
The series complicates itself at an insane pace. We switch out the vague, mustache-twirling villainy of Orochimaru for the sinister...
He's not vague. We know where he comes from, why he's doing what he's doing. We know quite a lot about Oro.
He went to go kill the Kage, and it didn't work.
We know less about Deidara. What are you talking about? The person that you're showing.
Oriented Akatsuki, which themselves open up discussions about international relations, the ninja system itself, and the state of the world.
It opens it up, but what does it do with it? When do we ever mention the Rain Village again after Pain? It's not a thing. It just goes, yeah, there's conflicts.
Yeah, things we can hope to understand in our little...
Granny Chio had beef with the Leaf Village. Moving on.
Based on what?
Just mentioning things like that is not yes, it complicates it, but what is...
But we're not doing anything to untangle that knot. We're just creating a bunch of knots in the line.
Naruto matures by becoming more complex, more aggressively confrontative of Naruto's beliefs, and, yes, increasingly political. The start of Naruto is by no means devoid of politics. We literally start the series with a discourse of privatized military after all. But it's in part 2 where it really gets going. The relationship between villages and the history of the ninja world become increasingly more prominent, until they crescendo into the Pain arc, where Naruto faces an enemy that, by all intents and purposes, has a very justifiable grudge against the village we have come to see as the home of the good guys.
Pause. Yes, absolutely. Is there a political negative to defeating him? Is it by killing him, does that cause war with the Rain Village? What?
There's still a very simple answer of just kill that guy, unfortunately. It doesn't work out that way because there was a better answer, but there was still a very simple answer of defeat the bad guy.
Point to that guy and just go right over there, officer.
The heads of the village are reframed from benevolent leaders to lifelong war criminals, some more than others, of course.
When were they benevolent leaders? What do we know of the third Hokage?
He don't take care of his kid.
He was just
your daddy. Don't teach you.
He was just some dude. If you want to go, that is the point. He was a benevolent leader. No good, no bad. He was just there. And now we get it. It's more of the we're seeing it, and therefore by seeing it, we're learning about it. Because we didn't really see much of the third Hokage in the beginning. Once Tsunade becomes the Hokage, what did she do other than paperwork, and point and go, all right, Shino, you going on that mission now.
And then yells about who do we have left to send out on this super important mission, because Shino's not here.
Is, similar to Sasuke, an unresolvable conflict within the simplicity this series superficially clads itself in. And this, too, is something that audiences that had been following the series
Can we stop with vagina bones on young teenagers? Thank you.
No.
and been growing up alongside it could and would probably have related to. The tail end of your teenage years are often a time when you have to face the fact that the world isn't black and white at all.
Oh, not really. And even young kids can face that, but there are some grown adults that still think the world is very black and white.
But it was discussed in Naruto that it's not that simple. The first arc,
yeah, but now it's doing it more. That was literally his argument.
It's not anything though.
Institutions, organizations, and even people you previously just assumed were always in the right suddenly show themselves to be, well, full of contradictions, good and bad, and everything in between.
If you're a teenager and you haven't had an argument with your parents of just like, I know I'm in the right, but they can't see it, you should know by now that the person in an authoritative position is not always right. It doesn't need Naruto to tell you that, hey...
But he's just saying it's mirroring what a teenager would go through. But we're just saying a metaphorical version of it.
But you've already seen that by the time you've seen this. And
I don't think this part is about the connection to Naruto, more so that it's just mirroring what teenagers can see, the reflection of what they go through and what's happening with Naruto. But in order to do that, they would have to have some type of media literacy in order to understand that. Because you're talking about this as a grown adult looking back on the political aspects of Naruto. But would a 16-year-old necessarily understand the geopolitical workings of Naruto and police states and all of that?
Or is it just, hey, the Hokage kind of suck?
Because I can tell you, as a young and older teenager, I for sure was not thinking about no geopolitical. I was thinking about, hey, what's a scene I can use for this AMV?
A big one for me was the country I live in, Switzerland. Like any conservative Western country, it makes sure to dress up in an air of national superiority, highlighting prosperity and wealth as indicators of just how good of a country it is, and just how proud you should be of it.
Why would if like, hey, come to Detroit, we got gangs, blocks and blocks of desolate houses, empty, abandoned,
cooked houses.
Come to Detroit. Why would anything say that?
As a teen living here, learning history only through the channels that were available to me at the time, I just kind of believed this stuff wholeheartedly. It's what I was told after all. But the instant I...
But even if you just look at what you're told, we're still told about slavery when we were a kid. We're still told about the civil wars where there is a right and a wrong position to go through. It's not always just that completely, just looking at it through history's lens. It's not just, it was founded at this time. There was no war. Abe Lincoln, he passed away peacefully at the ripe old age of 98 and passed his hat on to his child.
I'm in the middle of drafts. Shut up.
Yeah, reach for it.
You could have just helped.
I could have, but you need to learn.
You could have helped a brother out. That's all I'm saying.
I started looking beyond the facade, became aware of the history and the various economic and social injustices of the place I live in.
Pause.
Pretty much all of that confidence.
When did he learn? When did he
Yes, that's a good question, because he's, again, attributing all this to some older or younger teenager as opposed to some dude that would probably be in his mid-20s learning about this stuff early.
Confidence began unraveling. It's weird, losing faith in something you took for granted for much of your childhood, But at the same time, it's your responsibility as an adult to navigate this web of conflicts and form a good stance on it, especially in the post-colonial West. And yeah, I realize that saying, this anime helped me cope with the realization that I have to deal with the weight of political history, is an insanely unhinged statement. But at the same time, yeah, it kinda did help with that.
I wonder if he would have come to these same realizations without Naruto.
Yeah, for sure. He seems like a dude that's too intelligent to not eventually come to some form of conclusion with this.
So
It just so happened that Naruto was the thing that propelled him, and
he's
great.
clapping for Naruto for making him realize that Switzerland sucks a year earlier than he would have naturally. And Switzerland does suck.
There was
I don't know if Switzerland sucks. Don't come at me.
There was somebody in our comment section that was talking about the dude we just talked about with The Last of Us, and they went because I don't know what they are. It's really sad that this guy is attributing his own personal growth into this video game, as opposed to his own inner workings and maturing on his own. And that's basically what happened here. Like, you grew, and you're giving that high five to Naruto as the thing that helped or made you grow.
Seeing this
And
conflict...
I feel like this is something that would be better to connect on this video, Lynn, if one of us had gone through this. But there's nothing that made me just go, yes, now I understand math thanks to Yu-Gi-Oh! And hey, this life points minus...
Hey,
nothing
Detroit
like that
kind of really sucks.
No, I could just see that.
I wonder how he grew up. Because that's a lot of what happened with Mike. Mike grew up a suburban kid. And we'd be telling him stories. He'd just be like, what the f... Because he never had any type of that level of strife or that level of looking outside of whatever his little bubble was. So he likely didn't see a lot of the legitimate, desolate blocks of...
But he goes, Switzerland history, what they show on the front end is very nice and pretty. But
why wouldn't it?
He didn't couple that with, but I knew because I lived in this location that it was not what they were showing.
I walked by this particular block or this particular section of the city to get to school every day. And it's one of the worst places in Switzerland. I've been accosted multiple times. I've seen people get beaten for literally no reason.
Hey, this street's name is the name of a dictator, and I never knew that until I had to look that up. Something like that.
Crime Alley. I thought it was just a cute nickname, but no, there are crimes happening.
Well, no! What?
And Naruto helped me learn that
Got to go down that alley.
represented in a series that I had, at that point, been watching for literal years, felt reassuring. Like I wasn't alone in these confusing realizations, and that this phase was necessary in order to move forward and in order to grow up. And it is in...
And again, we always talk about this. People need certain things too. Mm-hmm. But, my goodness,
It's just so weird because we personally... didn't, and because of that, it feels so foreign to us.
Legitimately foreign.
Like, I understand it, but at the same time, I don't get it.
How Naruto chooses to move forward in the face of this conflict, that the series does something very sweet. While it acknowledges the complexity of adult life and the mire of social and political discourse, it nonetheless allows Naruto to do what he does best: stand his ground and never give up.
Yes, and push through it. Because Nagato could have just like, but no though.
Why are we still talking?
Chigaku Tensei? And just push him away and just mush him with another meteor. That could have happened. Which happens in real life. You can walk up to your boss and like, hey, I walked up to my boss every single month, and it's like, where are my 410s? Where? Oh yeah, we got them. She comes up to me Monday It was Monday. It was just like, hey, King, can you move your schedule? I go, when? She goes, what hours? She goes, 7 to 2:30. 6 to 2:30, sorry. I'm like, yeah. I look on my schedule for next week. It's changed already. I've been working there for almost 2 years talking about 410s. She comes up to me once and says, I changed the schedule. I go, yeah, and it's changed the next week.
Immediately. Even before you said yes, it was already changed, Mikey.
So there's some things and some people that you're not talking at. In Naruto, he talks to somebody and they fold. And if you sitting there thinking like, oh dang, that's all it takes to get what I want, to just talk to somebody and show them my way, and then they will enact a huge change
and resurrect
the village was decimated. And he brought everybody back.
But yeah, okay, you could say it helped you cope with all of that stuff, but it still shows a very naive view of the world where someone can peacefully talk to somebody in a position of power and just go, hey, this Dash. And they go, you right, this is Dash.
And this is what we talked about last week, where just a clan member just sits down with me and I just go, don't be racist. And they go, yeah.
I guess not. Hey, I work hard. I do all these things. I do my best.
Hey,
I'm not on the game.
Hey, sir, do you like peanut butter? Yes, I do. Well, did you know a black man made it? Well, I don't like peanut butter no more.
Well, I guess conversations have broken down. That was my peanut butter defense.
That's all I had.
That was numero uno. I'm cooked.
Picks up a shaky page. Well, I've got other arguments.
And joke me.
Bull.
And they're all,
next card.
It's all peanut butter.
Street lights.
It's all just black people inventing. Just like
Reese's. Oh no, that's it. Reese's Puffs. Dang, there's also peanut butter. What? Did I hold on right now?
Bring the peanut butter cookie.
Peanut brittle, sir? We've gone over this.
No, but
you know that Reese's has this new cup where they put Reese's Puffs in the cup? I think that's a little excessive. Yeah, I agree. Flips card.
it's just two sides. I agree, I disagree. With no matter what he said, the card. I think that's excessive. Whoop. Agreed. Because of these reasons.
So yes, it's not gonna work, and it works for Naruto so often. It doesn't work for Sasuke, but he didn't kill him because it kind of worked.
The scene in which he talks to Nagato lays it out perfectly. Yes, naive tenacity may by itself not be able to solve any real issues in the adult world, but what it can do is push you forward, empower you until you find the actual solutions. Never giving up won't save the world.
But he's just regurgitating not only what Pain told him, but what Jiraiya told him, which is what Jiraiya told Pain. So he's just saying he's already heard.
Yeah, but now it matters more because it's coming from Naruto, who is a mirror of him because he's also Jiraiya's student and acts the way he used to act. Or his friend used to act.
But it will allow Naruto and you to continue onwards.
Dude.
No, it doesn't. Dude. I don't continue on for some grand whatever. I'm just like, if I don't go to work, I don't live in this house. And I'd rather have a roof above my head and a loud lawnmower outside.
Yeah, like, there's certain things I want in life, and I'm just working towards getting those things. Beyond that, I got no real...
Yeah, it's not some grand ambition of just push forward. It's just, in order to do this thing, I need money. In order to get money, I need to go to work. I'm gonna save my money.
I hate the job I had, so I'm gonna work towards getting a certificate or something so I can get a better job.
Not everybody has this push forward attitude of it's gonna work, because what if it doesn't work?
Some
What
days,
if you just in your dumb little Burger King job for 10 years and then you just go, dang, I don't want to do this no more, and you walk out like I did.
There's a lady I catch the bus with basically every day, and it's this little old Korean lady, and she's just in a Kroger shirt, and that's just her job.
And that's just it.
And she's up there, it's like you're in your 40s and 50s and you're just working Kroger. And sometimes it just works out that way, and it sucks, but it just does. What are you supposed to do? Just keep pressing forward? Well, of course you have to, because you gotta live. Like, this message would mean a lot more if we had something like a universal basic income, where we were all given enough money monthly to live in a specific house or whatever, even if it was with your roommate, enough to eat, enough to save, and people just stopped working. But there are some that just kept pushing forward, getting that motivation to do more, to be more, blah, blah, blah. But we're kind of hamstrung in this capitalist society, blah, 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 yes, no, under capital, blah, shut up.
ALX politics coming soon.
Oh, DSP politics. That shit never getting off the ground. But yeah, we're all just kind of hamstrung on this, just having to work, having to go do things, unless you have somebody to live off of. But for the most part, yes, you just have to. You have to.
By remaining confident and tenacious about one's self-worth, one puts oneself into the right position to tackle these issues head-on. It would have been easy to just look at the world and succumb to desperate nihilism, to just refuse to engage with it, or to depict the world as...
No, it wouldn't be easy to do that! What do you mean?
No, it wouldn't be easy because you're not a nihilist. For an already nihilist, absolutely it'd be just like for a sociopath.
No. What does it mean to not engage in a world as a nihilist does? So, is it that easy if you don't even know what it means to do the thing?
I don't know, because I'm not a nihilist.
You don't even have to be nihilist to do that. You can go back to what he says.
Right position to tackle these issues head-on. It would have been easy to just look at the world and succumb to desperate nihilism, to just refuse to engage with it, or to depict the world as hopelessly confusing and grey. Instead, Naruto internalizes the issue and puts the focus not on the specific solutions regarding war and suffering, but on the attitude and belief system necessary to even begin looking for said solutions productively. Maybe he doesn't know how to fix the world now, but the only way he will ever figure it out is if he continues to believe in himself and face the world earnestly, taking in the good and the bad.
Okay, can I just say, this exact same sentiment could be levied against or levied for a dictator. Like, we're only talking about this positively because the outcome itself is positive in our eyes. But if this was a villain story, you could say the exact same things, and
he's pushing forward to what he believes in and what he thinks is right, and
you'd be like, holy and he's a monster because of it.
And not letting it stop him from his path. And I just think that this is a very productive way of handling this in a kids show, because yeah, you won't be able to reconcile the various contradictions and conflicts of the world within your mind when you're a teen. You might not even be able to do that when you're an adult. So the next best thing is to focus on keeping yourself moving, on building your confidence and character to a point where you can face the world and worry about the issues at hand without doubting yourself. Naruto starts simple, and when faced with complexity, it breaks that complexity back down and essentially allows itself to empower people in a way that will allow them to face that complexity without sacrificing its own simplicity. This is what...
Hey, never forget who this man is. This is reminiscent of the Ducks thing, where we just you had to tweet out the fairy tale thing. All right, hold on.
So the next best thing is to focus on keeping yourself moving, on building your confidence and character to a point where you can face the world and worry about the issues at hand without doubting yourself. Naruto starts simple, and when faced with complexity, it breaks that complexity back down and essentially allows itself to empower people in a way that will allow them to face that complexity without sacrificing its own simplicity.
What? Normally when this happens, it's just like, okay, I kind of see where he's going.
Yeah, once you hit the second time, it's just like, okay, I got it.
He's just wording.
Okay, it allows for the complexities. When faced with the complexities, it allows the complexities to be broken down without losing its simplicity.
So you can have a simple worldview of pushing forward in a complex world.
And it can deal with those complexities without losing that simplicity. But that only worked because it worked.
Because it was punch this guy and war ends. It wasn't sitting down with the 5 Kage going, hey, yo, what's up? Because once the 5 Kage sat down, like, hey, yo, what's up? And then Sasuke went, wars, what's up? And he started chopping muffs. I can't argue against this because I don't know what he said. I don't understand it. Maybe it's the smooth brain, but he worded a lot.
This duality between the depicted complexity of the world and the still simple but productive messaging around it is why Naruto became so formative.
I don't think so, because I don't know what that meant. I did not think about the simplicity and the complexity when watching Naruto and how they fuse and melt together and how it's a reflection on me and politics and Trump and all this stuff. I didn't think about that. I went, hey, Shadow, cool.
Hey,
Your boy, he sure did have 2 flashbangs and he used them muffs. Look at him.
Hey, he's got 2 tails now. Holy shit.
Oh, that's a big 2-headed dog. Oh, Sakan and Ukon sure do stink.
Hey, hold up. We're gonna get done up in our sleep.
Come on.
Third and final ingredient is something that I bet
we're done. The simplicity and the complexity is just a whole point.
Hey, yeah, that part of the meal has been cooked. That's the second course.
We're moving on to the next course. Here's your palate cleanser wine, and we're moving on. Find me one mother that's watching Deidara versus Sasuke and just going, the complexity mixing with the simplicity. Find me one mother with Pain and Naruto, and then to them thinking about complexity and simplicity. Whatever he was talking about.
We did find one mother.
Well, one other.
There we go.
you didn't expect me to say after all of this praise. It's that Naruto is far from perfect. After my recent rewatch, I will give it a 10 out of 10, no hesitation. But the series is, like everything, flawed. The most prescient flaw for the context of this video is, of course, the ending. The political conflict...
No, there's a lot of issues before it's kind of 500 so chapters of issues. It's not the ending.
By the time the Chunin exams are rolling around in earnest, the cracks are showing.
It's even before that, because they just go Kekkei Genkais. Well, they have those. It's the secret Sharingan eye that only select people, and then Sasuke unlocks it within 12 chapters. After he's just now learning chakra control. It's things like that where you just go, what? Substitution jutsu. It's just that by itself. You just look at it and just go, why is anybody getting hit? Why? Because substitution is, you're about to get hit, you super speed, grab a log, put it in place, and you're so fast that an after image comes up, it hits the log, and then you're safely away. In that time, you could have just gone behind the person and stabbed them.
Yeah.
But you do that big elaborate thing.
system essentially vanish from the storytelling right at the end and are never really directly addressed. The closest we get to it is Sasuke's speech when leaving the village, but that basically amounts to a limp, oh haha, I guess we'll see what we can do. I know I said that the pain arc is more so about Naruto's internal attitude rather than constructing any external changes and solutions, but at the same time, you kind of cannot discuss a world of child soldiers in excruciating detail for 1.5 decades only for it to just never be mentioned at the conclusion.
Yes.
Sasuke's speech only
it's
serves...
a big problem. It's always been a big problem. It was never about tackling the child soldier narrative, because that would take leadership, and Naruto is not a leader. He has no stake he has no sway in the village to make those sweeping changes until he becomes the Hokage, which he
leadership. I'm just saying rap lyrics, don't worry about it.
Until even when he is a leader and he just for some reason doesn't, because maybe he sees the value in it. But it's peace times. I guess like cat finding missions and protections from other more evil people. Doesn't matter. But yeah, it was never gonna be about tackling those things.
To highlight this bizarre thematic absence.
It is a bizarre thematic absence. It is a bizarre thematic absence.
This counts doubly for a series where the protagonist's goal is specifically tied to a position of political power, that is to say, a position in which they would have the influence necessary to bring about real change. And this is another thing the ending fails to deliver on. Naruto becoming Hokage is never shown, and him being Hokage is only shown...
How do you become Hokage?
Yes.
You are just a chosen mother...
It's more about what came before it, because you would have to be like, okay, we need a whole another 10 chapters to see him become Hokage, what it means, how he starts enacting changes and stuff. It's not the ending that's the issue, it's all the stuff that comes before it, because we don't know what the role of the Hokage is other than pointing and going, here is your mission, and signing a bunch of paperwork. It's a failing of the entirety of the story, and it's more brought to light because there is no resolution. But it's the story itself that's the issue.
The timeline of Boruto, where we meet an adult Naruto who isn't really a political figure and is more just a gag about how fucking tired he is of being Hokage. Speaking of gags, the actual Hokage ceremony, the moment the series had been building on for its entire runtime, is also not shown in the main series, being relegated to a special gag chapter that turns the whole thing into an exceptionally unfunny joke. In one fell swoop, the ending falls flat of both the core initial premise of Naruto's ninja way and the
Kiba! He looks so awesome!
Oh my god.
But this is your the ending can ruin a series.
Mm-hmm.
These are big things that he's talking about, but he's still giving it a 10 out of 10.
It has to be a 10 out of 10 for his enjoyment as opposed to the quality of it.
But if you rewatch it and you see the Ninja Tools thing and you see him going, I'm gonna be the Hokage, in the back of your mind you're just going, well, he does become it, but what does that mean?
Did he stop the Ninja Tools aspect of things?
His whole goal amounts to essentially nothing because we don't see it, and he doesn't really enact change, and it's all just a big goof. So it's this whole character about him yelling it, him getting stronger because of it, all this stuff, him changing people's minds and perspectives and whole wars ending, going because he's like, I'm gonna be Hokage, I'm gonna change stuff. He doesn't. So that's all just empty platitudes as he's yelling these things because you know it's going nowhere. It's not even like he dies in his pursuit to do it and you go, well, it doesn't go anywhere. But he died, so it's like
he died in the road to fulfill it.
He achieved it, and he is no different than the third Hokage.
Who was trash.
He's no different than the second Hokage because he's worse. Because the second Hokage was the best. But yeah, you have to think about that stuff as you're watching it. The Hyuga stuff, you have to just go.
Especially for somebody that's such a thinky man as Oceaniz.
The whole Hyuga fight is just like, I'm going to change the Hyuga. The Hyuga suck. You go to Boruto and it's like, we have changed. And that's all you get. That's not... That's going to sour your it's watching the sausage get made.
and you don't enjoy the way the sausage is being made. And every time you come to see the sausage get made, you notice a new problem in the ways that the sausage is being made. That's going to ruin your enjoyment of the sausage, but I guess not, because it's still a 10 out of 10 sausage.
I don't understand this.
Complex world conflict set up by pain. Perhaps you could argue that actually this is intentional, that this ending is meant to further highlight the insurmountability of the world's problems.
Pause. That's pure cope. 100%. This has to be some kind of
Pure cope.
And he's gonna be like, nah, but I don't think so. But you still introduce it as a potential argument that people I'm sure have.
Especially since it's an argument that I personally don't have and personally have never heard. So you're introducing me to a thing I didn't even know and potentially going, yeah, I don't believe this, but it is out there.
While I think that's an admirable effort, in order for that reading to be believable, I think the ending would have to reflect that intention, at least in tone. Which it doesn't. This is presented as an unambiguously happy ending in both manga and anime. If this really were a sort of we don't know where this is going kind of deal, I don't believe it would be this obviously good and happy. So no, unfortunately I don't believe that this was all actually a very clever subversion. And I have just zoomed in on one portion of Naruto. With a series this long, there are plenty of issues you can find to criticize. The Tenchi Bridge arc is kinda bad. The war arc, even though I've warmed up on it, is...
What's wrong with the Tenchi Bridge arc?
It's kinda bad.
I know that, but...
just too long and cluttered. Sasuke's character progression ranges from really great to borderline nonsense, etc, etc, etc. But this is where I open door number 2 and repeat what I said earlier. This flawed nature is part of why Naruto remains so magnetic as a series.
Even the flaws are peak. You don't dislike Naruto for his flaws. It makes it better, you see.
This is bull.
Yo!
You can't.
Yo!
How is anybody supposed to look at any series with problems
Yo!
and not just straight up
Get in
go,
there!
the flaws are part of the charm? Like, I understand some older like PS1 games, the jank, the take controls of a Resident Evil, part of the charm, part of the scariness, you don't have full control, blah, 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 blah. Yes, okay. Design stuff. But just going, the flaws are why it's so good? Is why it's so magnetic? Get this out of here!
Because, you see, we as humans...
He better not.
We as
He
people
better
are
not.
flawed.
This is over quick. It is over now.
As Dr.
6 minutes
Jasmine
or-
Franklin
He
said,
better not
in
bring
his
up a book
of life and charms and Naruto.
to me. While it may fumble some of its thematic weight at the end,
Thematic weight?
Fumble some of its thematic weight. Yes, what's the problem?
The words he just said to me.
I don't think so.
He said thematic weight.
Yes.
That's not a
It
thing.
may fumble some of it. Some of it.
Thematic weight.
Not all of it. It may fumble some of it.
Of its thematic weight.
Yep. But what of it? I don't know. What did it succeed with? I don't know.
I think this fumbling is exactly why I find myself coming back to the series so often. Eventually, you finish Naruto, and eventually, you grow up. When both of these happen, the series' legacy is the only way in which it can continue to influence you. If I loved Naruto 100%, with no issues or reservations regarding the ending or anything else, I think I would only really return to the series to praise it and just watch my favorite bits again. But because the series is flawed, it gets into my head.
You've already said all series have flaws.
Yeah.
So you can't just say because this series is flawed, it gets into my head.
It's a
Because
series,
all series are
yes.
flawed. By your own admission. So what is it about Naruto?
Yeah.
me to think about what I like and dislike and why.
That's
And I-
Are you telling me this is the only thing that you think about what you like and dislike and why? You don't look at My Hero and just go, I like this. And there's no thought process of why you like it or dislike it? I do not believe this.
Ironically, because a lot
Sorry.
forces me to think about what I like and dislike and why. And ironically, because a lot of Naruto's issues, in my opinion, stem from its lackluster conclusion regarding its more serious adult conflicts, it has and continues to force me to investigate my feelings about those conflicts. Does this kid's cartoon even have a responsibility to resolve these threads?
Pause.
Who-
Yes, they've introduced it. they've developed it and then they did nothing with it.
Yeah.
Yes. If you don't want to do it, don't bring it up.
Yes. Point blank period.
Big Mom's trauma stems from her abandonment issues. Why did that happen? Because she ate them motherfuckers. Who knows that in this world? Struzen, the chef guy. And what's he gonna say? Nothing. So he moves on and he uses her to climb up the ranks. But they've addressed that. They've addressed her hang-ups with that. They've addressed her power and how she deals with these things because she was never told no. Because she's so strong, due in part to her eating her adoptive mother and a fruit that became her power. They do these things. Don't introduce these things if you do nothing with it. I'm sorry. It is your responsibility because you've opened the door. You can't open the door to a vault of gold and jewels and you go like, no, but you can't have that. Like, but it's right there. Can I just get one? No.
Yeah, you have one, and that's about it forever. We've introduced it, we've given you a little taste of it, and now there will be no conclusion to this. This is technically yours, but it doesn't belong to you. How does this make sense?
They just present you with the most lavish meal that you've ever had. You don't know what this food is. You taste, you like, this is amazing. This is delicious. What is this? I'm not going to tell you. It's like, you've presented this to me, but you're not going to tell me what I've eaten and how to prepare it and where it came from? No. Live with the best meal that you've ever had in your life, and you will never experience it again.
They blindfold you and everything, so you don't even know specifically what you're eating.
I believe that it would be your responsibility to tell them.
Kids' cartoon even have a responsibility
and it's
to resolve
not a kids' cartoon because people's arms get blown off.
Kids in different cultures, different things.
It's teen, well, shonen, so young boys. But we're talking about the range of 9 and up, roughly. So, and he's talking about growing up with it. So as it's been going on for 15 years.
Yeah, they definitely would be.
Yeah, no, don't downplay it by going, this is a kid's cartoon.
Threads? Who else would hold that responsibility? Is the ending even bad? Why is it bad?
Yes, you've explored parts of the reason why it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
What would have been a better conclusion to the theme of peace and war? What solutions are even feasible, both in fiction and in the real world? After the series spent over a decade building up this idea of confidence and tenacity, this drive to stand your ground and to find your own answers within your self-worth as your base, it in the end left me with, well, a void. A gaping nothing where there should have been some conclusive statement. But exactly because of that,
Is he really going completionist theory bush because I don't have the answers? It makes me crave more.
No, or it could be I make my own answers and therefore I grow as a person because I'm looking at things from different perspectives.
This is goofy. Because it was poorly written, it makes it greatly written.
Potentially.
He just said because it wasn't answered that.
it has forced me to actually apply what the series was trying to impart on me.
Oh, yep. It was the thing that I said. Because I wasn't handed the answers. I have to come to the conclusions myself. How would war have been completed? Well, I don't know in Naruto, but in our world, I don't know in our world.
Because the ending, because much of Naruto left me with a desire for more or desire for something else, it catalyzed me into actually thinking about these things on a grander level. Of course, a good series will generally also make you think about things, but
I wonder how he feels about JJK these days.
I don't know if he even ever read it or watched it. Or
he just said a good series and he showed
But
JJK.
I can show a Godzilla movie in an edited thing.
But that's not your belief. You would just be...
But we don't know if this is his beliefs. Or
and why would he bring up this other series then?
Like I said, I could just put in a Godzilla and just go...
Yeah, but you would do it for a purposeful...
What did he say about... He didn't even say the word Jujutsu Kaisen.
But he said a good series will make you think as well. And then he showed Jujutsu Kaisen.
He didn't say the word Jujutsu Kaisen. He didn't say anything about it.
The word
he didn't
Jujutsu
say.
Kaisen.
So what's the difference between that and me putting in Godzilla?
Because it should be a visual representation of what you're saying and your belief of this good thing would do this thing.
It doesn't have to be.
Why is it there?
Because this is a popular thing that people accept and recognize that is well written. I don't have to do the work. You know it's well written. I'm moving on. He did do Jujutsu Kaisen movie.
There we go.
He did a 1 hour and 20-minute about all Jujutsu abilities explained. Jujutsu Kaisen Power Guide. Oh boy. He also did Cursed Energy explained. And he also did paneling in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Contains spoilers. Specifically, the rough line art can be used to exemplify momentum and speed as you
Yes, Jujutsu Kaisen's art is very ugly sometimes.
But that's what the charm is. The rough adds to the harsh environment.
The way Naruto's ending and Naruto's flaws have kept me coming back just to reconsider and rethink about if it's actually bad, if it's actually solvable, is something that
It sounds like you want it to be good, so you're constantly searching for a way to make it better than what it actually is.
But good things make me constantly go back to it, and I don't have to think about, is it bad, is it good? Sure, it's going to make you come back to it, but it's not a positive that is making you come back to it because you've already said that it's a 10 out of 10. So of course it's going to make you come back to it.
I rewatched the entirety of the Dark Tournament.
I don't go back to Jujutsu Kaisen because I don't think that it's particularly good. I don't think about it.
And it's not enjoyable.
I don't engage with it.
Other series has ever done for me, or honestly will ever do for me again. Rethink about if it's actually bad, if it's actually solvable, is something that no other series has ever done for me, or honestly will ever do for me again.
How can you say that?
How can you say that?
How can you say that for the future? There's so much material coming out every year. Manga, anime, movies, TV shows.
Nothing
books.
else will make me question if it's good or bad, or if it had the right answer. Nothing.
Or if it's even solvable.
There will be nothing else. Nothing else has before, and nothing ever will again.
And considering how many people keep coming back to Naruto,
it is solvable, because Naruto solved it.
No. The peace and war that was dropped, the themes weren't solved.
The themes weren't solved, but
that's
the peace
the problem.
And war were solved.
No, the themes weren't solved.
10 is just like, dang, peacetime sucks. I'm going out of business. I'm cooked. Solved. I can't keep a roof over my head. Tenacity isn't helping me feed my kids.
Naruto, give me some of that can-do attitude. Maybe I too can do something.
Give me some of that Will of Fire stipend. Give me one of them Biden checks. I'm drowning, Naruto.
Give me an Obama phone, mother. I got people I gotta call too. My suppliers can't get in touch with me. I don't even know if they're alive anymore. I haven't seen, and the stock ain't going nowhere, Naruto.
Nobody's helping me.
When's the last time you've used the kunai, Naruto?
You don't. Oh, big Naruto with his big chakra fist. Oh, what about us down here? Buy something.
You done lost your way, man. You used to be a down-to-earth good.
You used to be cool.
And now look at you, big on the chair.
A demon wind shuriken. Shuriken of shadows, you remember that? We was cool. I taught you that.
I remember when you couldn't do a clone jutsu, Naruto. Now look at you.
Too good for your old pal Tintin.
Can't believe it. Couldn't be me. Hey, I talk to Ito every day. When's the last time you seen that girl? Look at you.
Naruto, what's my son's name? Trick question. It's a daughter.
Hey, I for sure ain't see you at our reception, Naruto. I guess you had some papers to sign or something.
Hey, I didn't get that congratulations card in the mail.
Hey, where my gift? Like, what's up?
Where you at? Can we get a tune-in exam sponsored by Tintin's shop? Can I get a plaque up there? Yeah, I helped in the war.
I can set them up with some traps. I can help y'all out a little bit.
I'm a war hero.
I'm not asking for a handout, just an opportunity, Naruto.
Give me what I've earned.
Will ever do for me again. And considering how many people keep coming back to Naruto and keep discussing these exact things, it feels like I'm not alone in this.
I have never seen this discussion in my life because I'm not in those circles. Mm-hmm. If you're in those circles, potentially, you're going to get those conversations a lot.
But the conversation of still wages on between who wins, Chunin exam Sasuke or Chunin exam Neji.
You can't.
A conversation where I've already put my foot in the sand.
You can't.
There are debaters who are better, who are just like, because Neji wins, flat out. But there are debaters who are better, who just sort of talk around the other person. They're better debaters, so they win in terms of debate, but not in terms of
the power system, the combat.
Yes, and that's also interesting in some ways.
No ways, DA.
No,
this
no,
is not,
you sure?
This is not interesting,
you sure?
DA.
You hear the argument?
There are so many better uses of your time, DA.
Sasuke
than to hear
equals
Cell, Imperfect Cell,
and
could be beaten by Super Tien or something.
Neji was just
Neji is
like,
not doing anything.
It took Gear 5.
It doesn't matter.
The 5th gate. He was just like, I'm saving this for you, Neji.
Okay,
he
so
knew
what?
that up until the 5th gates, he could not beat Neji. And Sasuke only matches weightlessly speed. So
Neji got cooked by Naruto. What are we doing out here?
But Naruto,
I'm not taking part in this.
you opened the door. We've talked about this.
I gave you a jewel, and now I'm taking it back. It's over.
I want that crown.
So,
There, that could have been so many things.
Yeah.
I thought that was going somewhere.
Yep. Nowhere.
I have no idea if any of this was at all relatable to anyone. Maybe.
No, you literally said that there are people that feel the exact same way about you that discuss these things.
This video is just the incoherent ramblings of someone who still doesn't get it. But I have lived with this thought in my head for years now. For some reason, I keep returning to Naruto. I keep thinking about it.
You can't just like Naruto. You can't just be like, hey, Neji is cool. You have to be like, why am I coming back to this?
I just reread Slam Dunk and iShield 21.
Just like it.
I caught up
like something.
I caught up in Nagatoro, and then I reread Nagatoro. Like,
stop rereading stuff. Read Aharen-san. It's indecipherable.
Is it even in my list?
It's amazing.
Hey,
read that. Don't reread. Oh,
I gave you a game. I should reread Liar Sasuke, and it's over.
Oh no. Like other things are ending, huh?
2 chapters for Nagatoro
Grand
left.
Opening, grand closing.
Dude, this is awful.
It's as soon as it happened, you should have just been like, all right, we've got 10 chapters left, and
but it shouldn't be that way.
Akatsuki-san, go.
Akatsu-san.
The curtain is closing.
But why? Did you read the most recent chapter? Dude, she defends them, and it's just like. Now they're about to go, and now it truly feels like, yeah, they're about to go out, and it's going to be 2 chapters, and it's going to be a wrap.
Everybody's reaction, something happens on a date, maybe a fight, future, done, curtain down, thank you, good night. It's the way of the world.
You know why? Your heart hasn't been broken enough by this.
No, I accept it.
I don't.
That's fine.
Why should you?
I don't want to be like
I got manga where they've been together for basically the majority
that's
of it.
The problem.
How's that the problem?
Because you want more of that. You're expecting that.
No, it's not expecting that.
Going,
it's
I can't wait to get more of this. And then you don't get more of that. So it's the roller coaster.
I'm sorry. I don't want to read. I'm sorry that I want more than to read 120 chapters of Will They, Won't They, and sometimes almost 300 chapters of Will They, Won't They, and then they get together, and then it's 4 chapters of them being a couple, and then it's over. I'm sorry. I want to see the way they interact with each other after they're together. It shouldn't be this hard, because these pieces of cannot write romance. They can't. They can only write the hope of romance, the potential of romance, because the second romance is in front of them. It's whoops, time to end it, and this can't be interesting. It's Spider-Man and Mary Jane all over again. It's not interesting that they're married. They need to keep fighting, and then maybe, and then let them be happy. Let me see them be happy. No. I want happiness. No. That's your problem, DA. You have no happiness.
No. It is simply the journey, not the destination. That's what it's always.
No!
It's getting there. It's the baby steps. And then once you get it, well, I've got it.
I'm sorry. A road trip to the Grand Canyon. I still want to see the Grand Canyon in all its majesty.
Okay, what do? Oh, there it is. You take a couple pictures. You drive 8 hours to get there. You're standing there for what, 5 minutes, and then you bounce.
Probably like an hour. I'd be walking around that bit.
But you spend a lot more time getting there than staying there.
That's fine if you spend a lot more time. So give me an eighth of the series. Yeah, give me an eighth of the series. I would think if there's 100 chapters.
An hour. That's all you going. I'd spend an hour. Nope. Some people just go take a picture. There it is. There's a gift shop. There's a hot dog on a stick, and we bouncing. It's the journey to the Grand Canyon. And then once you see it, you've seen it. And it's over. How many times? You think the 5th time going on the Grand Canyon is going to be as good as the first time? It never is. You see it. You get that picture. You're out of there. 8 hours to get there. 1 minute there. Take the picture. Ooh, I'm falling over. You do a little joke. You get a hot dog on a stick and you out of there. That's what it is. It's the journey.
Why is it?
Because it's the journey.
No.
Yeah.
You can have more, because it could just be a different journey. A journey of togetherness. A journey of the couple's plight. A journey. We're new at this. They've been married since basically chapter 1, and it's one of my favorite ones.
How did they get together?
They were childhood friends. And
did we see that for 80 chapters?
No, we got a flashback.
I can't relate to this. This isn't what what happened to the game I loved.
The series has been done and over for almost 10 years now, and I don't give a shit about Boruto. Yet somehow I cannot ever completely abandon it. And I think it's because of what the series did for me. Naruto is, beyond all the more refined and theoretical themes, about teaching you that while you may be surrounded by confusion and hostility...
Holy crap!
What?
Did you see that animation?
No, I love
refined and theoretical themes, about teaching you that while you may be surrounded by confusion and hostility...
Oh, they didn't give a...
My
nobody's paying attention to this. We need to save our money for the good. Let's have her do a little hop and KOF hop and get out of here.
Their proportions were all over.
More refined and theoretical themes about teaching you that while you may be surrounded by...
She did not move from blocking his low arm to jumping. All she did was go
more
up.
Refined and theoretical themes about teaching you that while you may be surrounded by confusion
what is up with Nettie's an 8-hour wind up? What is he teaching her?
About teaching you that while you may be surrounded by confusion
telegraphed. And why did she fly backwards when he did a palm strike like downward?
More refined and theoretical themes about teaching you that while you may be surrounded by confusion and hostility, while you may feel alone and isolated,
Can we go
while
back
you may be surrounded by
what
confusion,
he actually said?
Beyond all the more refined and theoretical themes, about teaching you that while you may be surrounded by confusion and hostility, while you may feel alone and isolated, while you may not be able to influence or understand what's around you, you can influence and understand what's inside of you.
Pause.
The world's made...
But see, you're thinking about that in terms of themes. What if people don't think about that and just go, I want to see Rock Lee drop them weights?
Yeah.
You have to look at all of Naruto or bits and pieces of Naruto that relate to that. And not just and then just go, yes, this is why I'm coming back to it for this looking within thing. Why can't it just, and I understand we rail against big pretty come back watch fight stuff, but this is even worse with the whole theme thing, because the theme is the overarching thing, and you're just looking at little bits and pieces and just going, yes, there is the theme. It's just a grand opening of just, here is the introduction of the theme, or here's something that reinforces the theme, and now here's the closure of the theme. You can go back to a fight and just watch the fight and just go, that is the fight. Yeah. I've seen everything.
I like this clip, the GIF, whatever.
But you're looking at something and just going, okay, this is the theme, and then you're looking at the stuff that before and stuff that happens after, and stuff
you
that
basically got to watch the whole thing
in order to fully appreciate the themes that you're seeing right here and now.
Up of an infinite number of puzzle pieces, most of which you just cannot control, except the most important puzzle piece of them all, yourself.
Pause. Oh. But you couldn't control that because you said that you felt like people were
social constructs and all that stuff.
You couldn't control that because if you could, you would have. And just like the old dude from last week, he didn't say how he got out of that. He didn't go, there's this dude that was making fun of me, but I befriended him or whatever. It was just, I felt like this. And now moving on. Ocean water.
No matter what the future may hold, as long as you can believe in yourself and your own inherent worth as a person, you can persevere and tackle life one day, one puzzle piece at a time.
I don't need Naruto to tell me this. I don't need to rewatch Naruto versus Neji to realize that. I am an adult. I know that if I don't go to work, I will not be paid for that day.
Or get fired, potentially, even with their miscommunication.
You know where we're getting for that day off that we missed?
A pizza party?
Subs.
I was close.
We had pizza last time.
That they fed up.
Yes.
And we can't have that again.
No. We can't be repeating.
So here's one big sub. Break off your section of subs and get your bag of chips. We didn't say those were included.
So we have 1 2-liter of Coke. RC Cola. Bring your own ice. The fridge is on the fritz, so it's kind of warm. And the subs are kind of cold, so it's kind of weird, but you'll make do.
But at least you're eating.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Back to work.
The end, I feel like the series didn't quite deliver. It left me with an immensely valuable lesson. One that I learned through practice, through forced practice. To focus on what I can control, on what I can fix. To believe in myself and to allow that belief to guide my actions in this weird and wacky universe.
With such a malleable way of thinking like that and being influenced by Naruto, do you think this is the type of person that would have been influenced by like a Rick and Morty and just nihilism?
For sure.
Sucks.
It's truly based on his formative years and the media he consumed. And it just so happened that it was Naruto, and he just so happened to pull this lesson from Naruto. And it was probably the best possible outcome for him, as opposed to the dude that was, I want my sauce, wubba lubba dub dub on a McDonald's counter, just kicking things over.
Because I'm just looking back at all the stuff that we watched. Angry Beavers was just a very good show.
Yep.
Pepper Ann was just an amazing show.
Recess.
Wild Thornberries was just a mediocre show that I remember almost nothing about.
You know, I acquired it, and I really want to.
How? What'd you do to
acquire
it?
really want to revisit.
Or anything.
I really want to revisit that and see
Nick Plus?
if it actually is a mediocre TV show. Or if it was actually pretty good. Because I also did the same thing with Pete and Pete. Like, I always hated Pete and Pete. But is it a bad show? Or was I just a kid that just wanted to see a bunch of Asshole by Ginger? Like, was Asshole by Ginger
I think that's just it's a symptom of being in the league of Pepper Ann, and Pepper Ann just being the one.
Pepper Ann was most certainly the one. Life lessons with a heavy overtone of comedy.
And I think that because of that, Naruto is a series that has stuck with me. It's why it is, in a cringe but real way, a figurative home to me. A place to return to. Thank you all so much for watching. This was again something a little different and hopefully, interesting.
Fiction Ape? Why does that name sound familiar? Did he do a song? Did he do one of those Dragon Ball songs? That name is so familiar to me.
Quick reminder, if you want to pledge to my Patreon, you will be able to watch all videos a couple of days early. So if you're one of those people who was just eagerly waiting for my next video, first of all, thank you very much. And second of all, consider that. Speaking of Patreon, a huge thank you to all of my patrons, without whom these videos just wouldn't be possible. A special thank you to Fiction Ape, Mr. Game, Cini, Courage, Alex, Iron Camel, Jameson Tate, Ludenther.
Oh, we did video by him.
Teroscoco,
The
Project
theme
Iceman,
of privilege in My Hero Academia.
Mr. Belander, and Geo. Thank you all so much again, and I will see you next time. Take care and be safe. Goodbye.
Yeah, because he had the avatar. I remember the avatar. Yep. So we did the theme of my privilege in My Hero Academia.
Boy, I don't remember that.
It was a stream.
Boy, I don't remember that.
It was a duo with something else.
Like an 8.
I was thinking 8 exactly.
Yeah, it's just like we said. It's nothing against but I just do not understand this media has opened my eyes to this thing.
It has essentially saved me.
I just do not, because it's just
a
thing that I really like, and that's
or dislike, and find good or find bad,
or feel nothing about,
Roughly Jujutsu Kaisen, feel nothing for it.
It's good for y'all. You got that thing to return to.
You got that thing.
I go to Scat Dance because I think that it's funny and it's very well written.
I go to Nagatoro.
It's fantastic. Curtain down.
I'm gonna dude.
Curtain.
I was reading Satsuri, Lyra Satsuki, and it was just like, what's going on here? I was in the middle of reading. I was like, why does this feel like they're kind of saying this is the ending?
And curtain down. Why is that curtain coming down? Hey, we still got. Oh no,
dude. I have legit lost like 5 series, and I don't know if the Apothecary Diaries dude is in jail or not for his tax evasion. So I'm just waiting on pins and needles for that one. Like, I got nothing.
Rokudo's Bad Girls had an ending that was satisfying. I said it before. The last arc, one of the most contrived things that I've ever seen. It is perfect because it closes character arcs in a way that it needed to happen in this way. So, you accept that it's happening in this way to get every single character arc closed. It's so good!
We should bring
especially the best girl, who we all know who the best girl is.
We should really bring back Check It Out at this point. Because there's some things I want you to read. Yeah,
read Rokudo's Bad Girl. It was very
that maybe.
Read Aharen-san.
Maybe.
Read Aharen-san. It is fantastic.
Let's see if it's on
Read
the
Scat
list.
Dance.
Scat Dance is on the list.
All you need is that first tournament arc, and that's all you ever need.
Witch Watch was just kind of, so I was like,
Witch Watch builds off of the fact of your love for Shinohara Kenta, who is the mangaka. You need to read that in order. You need to go to Lost in Space.
Hey, I do have it.
Space. Yeah, I don't care if you have it. You ain't reading it. Read it, muff. I don't care. Because it's in the sea of 80 other things.
80.
It's in that sea. So it's just like, oh, there it is.
Yeah. There it was.
Mother. Oh yeah.
I have so many things on the list, y'all.
Oh yeah, I do have this band in the sea of the 5,000 songs. Oh yeah, there they are.
Well, there they
Boy,
are.
I hope I get to listen to them on random. Let me see what my next song on random is. Oh, Stitched Up Heart. That's not them. What's next? Linkin Park. That's not them. Oh, let's see what's next. Last Surprise. That's not them. Boy, I hope I sure do get to listen to them one day in the sea of 5,000 songs. And are these 5,000 songs that I'm going to try out? No, these are 5,000 songs and bands that I like and actually have chosen to put on my Read out inside, you sack of garbage.
At some point.
You rereading Bush mid Liar Sotsky.
Don't
your
I haven't even reread it.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Because it hurts.
Yeah, because it stinks.
No, it's so good. It's one of the best.
You know what is the best? Yeah, get out of here, pieces.
Dude, why does everything I love just end?
Because it needs to end, and I prefer things to
Yes, but why does it end so weirdly?
Because it sucks. I told you, Destination Journey. We're getting a nice chunky epilogue with My Hero, so we should be thankful for that.
Should we? This is terrible.
We should be very thankful and appreciative of
I don't care about Spinner.
Bountiful.
I have never cared about Spinner.
Yeah, you do
it doesn't matter
Welcome.
how hard they've tried
Spinner
to make me
time,
care about
baby.
Spinner.
Spinner
And this month
time,
gets
baby.
half a chapter of the
Thank
final,
goodness.
like, handful
We
of chapters.
needed-
What is
we
Mina
needed
doing
Shigaraki's
right
story
now?
To be told.
Where
I'm
is
gonna write a
she?
book. Are you?
Who gonna read it?
Who? What is the purpose of that? What do you know about Shigaraki?
Legit, you thought he told everybody.
How in your eyes, how did that man die?
He was murdered by you, Deku.
Okay.
Yes, he sure was.
Do you know that we had multiple mind fights?
And he helped me in our Mind Palace, shared Mind Palace.
Until another man came over and took over his body, and then 8 more guys punched him to death, and then he disintegrated. All of these things happened, Spinner.
Well, you weren't there, I was.
You want to know how I got these scars?
And Deku don't care.
He don't care.
And I'm sincerely hoping for he's just sitting down having a talk with somebody and he breaks.
It is too
down.
little too late.
Dude, there's nothing else I can hope
He
for.
was next to All Might and he didn't break down. Bakugo is breaking down and he's not breaking down. His love interest is just like, your hair is trash. I don't know how he didn't rope right then and there.
Please, I can't wait for that to grow back because you are jacked.
Ugh. That's the word.
Can't believe I ever liked you. Wait, what?
Did you? But somebody, I think I saw a very good theory.
That this is actually Deku's Mind Palace and he's trapped or something.
What? No. I said it was a very good theory.
Hey, good can mean a lot of things for us.
But they said 5 is the last 5 chapters. And it was starting from here essentially, and here essentially are going to be the last 5 chapters. So it started with the Todoroki family, and these scales are Spinner's scales. So the next chapter is going to be about Ochako. Then it's going to be about something within Deku, which is probably going to be the Embers of One for All, or whoever that villain is. And then this last one is the bright future, and the last chapter is going to be the future. And I really like this theory, and I hope it comes true. And if it doesn't, Horikoshi it's not gonna be a negative towards Horikoshi because it's not anything that it's people looking into things. But if he does do it, it's gonna be A+.
Yes.
But if he doesn't do it, it's gonna be a negative.
That's not fair.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's not gonna be a negative. The series sucked now. It's just gonna be like, well, you could have done this thing because if somebody else saw that, you should have seen that and you could have done that. But it's not gonna be because it's what is it gonna lose a point? No! How is it gonna go lower? Piece of
It might be the worst. Whenever we redo our list, it might end up being number one, honestly.
That grand closing is gonna hit.
We would have to reread Fire Force though.
And I don't want to.
Man, that's the problem. So
August could just be My Hero month, legit.
we can do a My Hero month. Set up for viewer request month in September. Start the voting and the nominations. Make that My Hero month.
Well, it's got 5 Saturdays. My goodness.
That's fine.
And we could talk about that.
Yeah.
Cause the ending. I was gonna say, like, a live read of the end of the chapter, and then a half because reasons, and the other half. But that's not enough time. We can talk about it.
Yeah.
Probably not. Maybe a half of it. Oh, Mark is doing
My Hero right on time.
Oh,
Right on time.
We will not be discussing that.
These
any
already
mentions of it will. That monster just like, oh, I can't wait. It's just like, yo, what? Who said that we're doing it?
We just had Mark, and these moms were like, "Mark's doing My Hero." The second it comes out, I can't wait for y'all reaction to
Animals.
it. Based on what?
Get that out of here.
They and this is partly our fault. They clearly don't understand band. They clearly don't.
Which is partially our fault as well.
We are not doing that, and
But
we say that.
Don't say that.
Because then eventually we will do
somebody
it.
clip it, and then they're gonna be like, "Well, you said it's gonna show you in band. Timed out.
Shut up. Let us do us.
Yeah, that's it. Stream maybe because I looked at the schedule and it's just like I could be back by like 3.
Mm.
So
We'll see on a stream. Worst case, you just don't get a stream, y'all. You got a 2-hour video this week. Shut
but it
up.
was Oceaniz.
And
He's Oceaniz.
he has a lot.
Thematic weight and all this bullshit.
There was something he said with thematic, like the thematic revelations or the refined thematic, and it's like Are we?
Say so. Yeah, I gotta get ready for my new work schedule next week.
Oh, this is a recent development.
No. It happened Monday, and it's starting next Monday.
So what's your times now?
6 to 2:30.
Oh, you're coming home way early, so you got to be up at like 5.
Which I just do anyway.
Hey, are you getting your 410s though?
No.
They're gonna lose you, and it's gonna be the worst. The worst, dude. And again, this goes into us going never be good.
Mm-hmm.
These mothers, they're like, hey, should I submit a ticket or can you just handle it? I went to the picnic and they were like, oh, you're the guy that just goes super fast and blah blah blah. I met one of the people for the first time ever, and she was just like, oh, it's you. It's nice to put a face to you because I be bugging you a lot and blah 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 blah. And it's like, there's so many other people here. There's at least 3 other people in tech that I know frequent the tech stuff. Why?
Our system is, in order to get help, you have to put in a ticket online, you have to call, or you have to submit an email. Those are the only 3 ways. When you do any of those ways outside of calling, we have to contact you either by calling you or via Teams or email. It's all up to your discretion what you want to do. Whichever way you think is fastest or best. I usually go with Teams so I can do multiple things at once just to knock out as many things because we have SLA. So we have to get all these tickets out by 2 hours. So get them all out of the way. So I do multiple at a time. So I'll contact people on Teams, resolve their issues. And then 3 months later, they'll be like, hey, can you help me with this? I'm like, you know the protocol.
Oh, dude. I had a ticket that I had closed out like 6 months ago. And this is the one that really pissed me off. So our system is there's no real time frame as long as you're answering within a week, or if it's an urgent or high ticket, you are answering in a couple days, just letting them know the update of what's going on. Because our stuff is way more involved than like a password reset for the most part. So this, and bless her old now retired heart, because she retired in June, and I give her a lot of rope because she's an old lady, and a lot of times I had to just straight up call her, and I don't do that. So I completely finished the ticket. We closed it out. She created a new ticket to say, hey, that old ticket needs to be reopened, and reopened the old ticket. You could do either or.
But I'm on both, bitch.
I don't know why you needed both. So no, I have
warning, this bit about to be reopened.
So I now have 2 tickets for the same problem from the same person.
Resolve them.
And I did, but like what are you doing? And I recently got one of those what's a browser boys. Yeah. Dude, don't lie to me. Did you clear your cache? Yes.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. And you know how I could tell? This is how I could tell. This ticket I have right now, this bastard. And I told the coworker that assigned me this ticket, I said I should throw you in the rain for this bush. Because every time I resolve the issue, here's 2 more things. This piece of garbage, complete piece of garbage. So there's Google Translate. You hit the translate button. It's a bunch of things in a row. Initially, it was basically in columns and rows. So 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, 4 here. Let's just say it like that. They only wanted a certain amount of languages. So they wanted Chinese, they wanted Arabic. Just take out all the quote unquote fluff ones. Did it. But now it's all like disconjointed because now it's still supposed to be 4, 4, 4, 4, but the structure is missing a bunch of them. So they're like, hey, can you just make it one line? And I say, yes, I did. Oh, it's opening in another when you switch tabs. And I say, okay, that's because when I was testing it, I kept it open so I can see what my changes are doing. Perfect, fine, boom. Got it all situated, clear your cache, you're good. Reopen the ticket. Here's a screenshot. It's still doing the same thing. You didn't clear your cache because it still looks like the old version of it. Cache downloads and keeps the old layout. That's how I know you're lying to me. So I said, did you clear your cache? And then I closed the ticket. Didn't even wait for a reply.
That's rude.
They didn't reply.
Because it was resolved.
Because it was resolved.
They knew what was up.
They knew they were on bush. They knew they were cooked. What can you do? Thank me. God, these people. I'm so happy I deal with people so infrequently in this job. I swear I maybe talk to 7 people a week max.
Wow.
Max.
Couldn't be me.
On the phone, I mean, at least.
Couldn't be me.
And I'm being a nice guy to this intern because he doesn't understand the system. We have a CMS, which is a content management system like WordPress and such. He doesn't understand the system. I'm being nice to this intern. Hey, can you walk me through it? Like 2 or 3 meetings every Thursday at 11 a.m. Cool. I'll go into another room. Boom. We knock it out. It's like a 10-minute meeting. He's like, all right, my last day is after July 4th. So, but they might want to continue. I don't do that. That's training. And you pay for that. They've been trained. If they need help, they need to go. So today I was like, I'm out sick. I can't do it. And we're like, all right, we're discussing if we want to continue this. No, there's no continuation. I'm going to send you to training and you're going to pay for it. Like, get off my back. I am done with you. I was helping the intern man.
It's not nice.
Them!
It's not the attitude that you should have. Company
What? I'm about to show you one of my tickets.
We don't need to do that. We're wasting precious time.
Nah, you need to learn.
Kevin,
Talking about don't be rude.
Kevin.
Yeah, that's the old dude that owned this computer.
Sure thing, Kevin. Doxing you.
God, I have so many right now.
We can't do this all night.
Dude,
I gotta go to sleep.
Dude, they're pissing me off.
I work tomorrow. I got a lot of people to talk
This
to.
motherfucker said, can you add this API to me? And I said, sure. Just give me the code for it. All right, here's the website they gave me. So now they want me to do the tutorials for your API? Just give me the API. Give me the scripts.
Handshake.
Oh my God.
He was a pedo, and then you all just went on your way. Potentially no stream this week. If there is, there will be. And if there won't, there won't be. Hopefully my convention will go smoothly. But history says that it will not.
I truly believe it won't.
I think it will. I've had a bad track record, and I think it's time for...
It's clear conventions are not for autographs these days.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your thing.
Yep. But I just got one, and I'm out.
You just had basically one last time, and he ain't come.
I had 3 last time.
And one ain't come.
Yep.
And the other 2 were a disaster.
One was a disaster. The other one was fine. Because it was Ian. And Ian is great.
66%.
Yep. I don't think that's cause for an alarm. An alarm like wee woo. You see? I did it! It took me a second. I was just like, I got it!
And I stopped myself from making a Scott Steiner joke with the 33% chance.
Scott Steiner was at the con with Tom Kenny and them. I saw him walk up. I was like, "That's Scott Steiner," because he was a late addition. I was like, "Oh, that's him." He's like this tall.
Yeah, no,
he is a small man, but he's still. I'm like, "Oh my goodness, it's Scott Steiner."
And I stopped myself because I heard alarm, and I went, "Oh, you're going into Weevil."
I wanted to bump into him or acknowledge him in some way, just be like, but I didn't want to be like, what the f*** are you doing? But I also didn't want to be like, hey, I'm a big fan, or nothing, but I was just like, hey, there he is.
A lot of times I'll just walk by and go, love your work.
I should have done that, but I was already pissed off because the whole situation.
Obligatory secondary Weevil, let's get out of here.
Obligatory secondary Weevil, let's get out of here.